Hello do's and duets. God bless, best of wishes to you all. My name is JesterArtsDJ of Do Brothers Entertainment, and it seems our good friend Crash has returned yet again, but surprisingly not in the way we normally are accustomed to. This new installment in the Bandicoot series is a competitive 4v4 platforming multiplayer online team battle extravaganza known as Crash Team Rumble. Kind of funny that now we have two multiplayer online Crash games in a series and they both carry the same CTR acronym. More to the point though. Today, we're going to be taking a deeper competitive look at Crash Team Rumble. We'll be covering key map points and their functions, as well as the three character types and how their specialized skills and abilities can be used to help lead your team to victory. Before we begin though, please take a moment to remember that you're awesome and loved, alright? And if this video helps you out, please consider leaving a like or subscribing to the channel. And if you already subbed, thank you for being a total rock star, by the way. And please ring that bell to make sure that YouTube keeps you in the loop when new videos go live. On that note, let's jump right into the video. Crash Team Rumble is a fun collector game with a competitive twist thrown into the formula. The basic idea at the core of every match is to collect 2,000 Wumpa before the opposing team does. Although the concept seems simple enough, there are many elements that can turn the tide of battle, such as stage-specific features, map layouts, and characters selected in your team. But in order for us to see how those things will affect one another, we need to cover some basic details regarding the battlefield and point out some key elements vital to the progression of every match. Cue Just Beat You. This is the introductory map of the game. We'll be using this map for simplicity's sake to help better illustrate the items and key elements to be aware of in a match. First off, when you start a match, you will be on the blue team and your opponents will be on the red team. With that in mind, take notice of the two circular color crate platforms on the left and the right. Blue one is known as the ally bank, or your team bank, and the red one is the enemy bank. For the sake of naming convention and easy recollection, anything pertaining to the red team will be called enemy, and anything regarding the blue team will be called ally. This will help us better explain concepts later, and this is also the naming convention used by the announcer in-game, so a little bit more consistent with what the game goes by. The colored team banks are where each team deposits the Wumpa they collect during the match. Only Wumpa that is deposited in the bank is counted towards the 2,000 needed for victory. To deposit Wumpa, you must stand on your team bank. You'll have to wait for the timer to fill up before your Wumpa is taken and counted towards the overall team score. If an enemy is on your ally bank, the time required to deposit will increase. Also note, jumping or being knocked back will cancel the deposit timer, forcing you to land and wait for the deposit process to complete all over again. The color bar shows how close you are as a team to the required amount needed for victory. The gray bar shows how much undeposited Wumpa is being held by the team collectively. Now that we know what team banks are and how depositing works, let's head back to the map and discuss Wumpa collection. Wumpa is distributed throughout the map, both as individual pickups and in crates. The basic crates drop 5 per box, and the 3X crates drop 15 each. We will call the crates closest to your team bank ally crates. The ones closest to your opponent's bank, enemy crates. They also spawn in locations around the middle of the map as well. We'll be calling those neutral crates. Your goal in the match is to make an effort to grab as many crates as you can and deposit your take into the team bank, repeating the cycle until the 2,000 Wumpa needed for victory is collectively reached by your team. Each character has a different amount of Wumpa they can carry, and when the capacity is reached, the word full is displayed under your character, letting you know you can't grab any more Wumpa. Your character's Wumpa capacity is below you and illustrated as a yellow bar. Above that, your character also has a display for HP as well, which is the blue meter right above the Wumpa count. If this meter reaches 0 or you fall off the map, your character will be knocked out, forfeiting all the unbanked Wumpa you have on you at the time and forcing you to respawn back at your team spawn location, which is where you and your team started the match from. Make sure to stay mobile and bank your Wumpa often to avoid huge losses. Now that we've covered banks, crates, and spawn locations, it's time to take a look at relics and their corresponding relic stations. Relics spawn across the battlefield in designated locations. Picking these up allows you to deposit them at relic stations located across the battlefield. Each map has different stations that serve different functions, but unlocking them provides your team with many useful power-ups and tools that can greatly aid in defense, offense, or mobility. Be sure to drop off any relics that you've collected when you get the chance to help your team access better resources that will aid them in the match. Last and definitely not least, we have gems or gem platforms. These platforms are usually located near or around your team's bank and your opponent's team bank as well. There are also stages that have a gem group situated in the neutral area of the battlefield. Gem platforms at first appear gray and colorless, but when you see a little white blinking marker appear near a set of gems, this indicates that the gems will soon become active and ready to be captured. To capture gems, you must board each gem platform in the immediate vicinity, which will change their color to blue. Once all gems have been changed to your team color, you must then defend the platforms from enemy players seeking to board them as well. If your opponent boards one of your gems, they must hold that spot for a brief period of time in order for it to change the gem to red. And once they have changed one gem to red, simply jumping to another will instantly change that one red too, forcing you to board one of the now red gem platforms and hold it in order to change it back to blue. Note, this process is just like banking Wumpa in the sense that you must stay on the platform to capture it, and jumping or being knocked back will cancel the gem capture. Be sure to do your part to help capture gem platforms for your team. If you succeed in capturing a group of gem platforms, your team will be rewarded with a huge Wumpa boost that will greatly increase the amount of Wumpa you deposit at the bank for a period of time. Awesome! Now that we have a crystal clear idea of our in-game goal and how elements in the battlefield can aid us in attaining it, let's move on to the 3 character types and how their roles impact each match. First up are the boosters, which consist of Coco and Cortex. The boosters' role is to capture gems and increase their team's scored Wumpa, and activate relic stations to give their teams the advantage. Thusly, they will fill the crucial support role for their team. Booster characters can also grab extra relics on the battlefield because some relics will spawn in as double for them. This is a trait unique to their role, and it aids them in quickly opening up opportunities for their team. They are also highly mobile and exceptional at platforming, making them quite difficult to catch. This means they are great at rushing in to defend points on the map and can quickly get out of dangerous situations if things get too risky. However, a key drawback for them is their lack of health and extremely low Wumpa limit, which seems to cap out at around 90. Next up are the blockers, who are composed of Dingodile, Rio, and alternate universe Entropy, and although the latter two have not yet been properly released to us, the time we have had with Dingodile has given us a good idea of how this character type will play. The blocker's primary role is to rumble with enemies to knock out their Wumpa and prevent them from scoring. Blockers play the crucial role of guardian for their team. Their great attack power and combat options give them the ability to quickly dispatch enemy players and effectively hold down and attack key points such as Wumpa banks and gem platforms. This can effectively buy a team crucial moments needed in order to catch up or win a match. To successfully fill the role of a blocker, you must also keep aware of the current course of the match. In essence, if your team has a higher boost percentage, perhaps try collecting crates to bank, or head to the team bank and keep it enemy free so your team can benefit from the score boost. Or if the enemy team has a higher boost, perhaps try holding down their team bank to prevent scoring while they have a higher boost number. The blocker's major drawback, however, is that their movement options aren't too great, thus they'll not be able to score Wumpa in the team bank as frequently as their allies. Additionally, since they're not as fast or nimble on platforms, they usually need to find ways to power through tough spots instead of retreating to safety, since most other characters can easily run circles around them. Lastly, and most certainly not least, are the scorers, comprised of Crash, Tana, and the yet-to-be-released Catman. The scorer's primary role is to collect Wumpa from across the map and score it in their team's bank. Scorers have a lot of mobility and speed both on the ground and vertically, which means that they are very good at platforming and getting around the map swiftly. Along with their great mobility and speed, scorers also have a huge Wumpa capacity limit, meaning that they can hold onto a lot of Wumpa before needing to stop and make a deposit at the team bank. Score characters generally have a diverse set of skills that allows them to excel at many other things aside from scoring, but their low HP does mean that they have to be wary of overextending outside of their role, or else they risk wasting a huge chunk of time and Wumpa for their team. Much like blockers, scorers need to consistently be on the offensive, attacking the enemy team at any chance they get, but that does not mean they should be engaged in direct combat with opponents consistently. The score character should be focused on what they do best and using that to their advantage. Thus, the most effective way for them to attack the opponent is indirectly, by going after enemy crates and enemy relics as often as they can. Since scorers have the mobility needed to slip in and out of enemy territory, they can easily take advantage of these items, and doing so will impede the speed at which opponents capture Wumpa, and allow their slower teammates to benefit off of collecting closer ally crates and relics. Scorers play the extremely crucial role of collector on their team, and most matches will either live or die by how well they can excel at their role. Well, that covers a deeper look into Crash Team Rumble gameplay and character types. There are many deeper traits and subtleties specific to each character, but I'll be going over those in separate videos breaking down competitive play of individual characters, more than likely starting with my boy Crash Bandicoot. And again, if you liked this video or found it helpful, please consider leaving a like, sharing, or dropping a comment. Thanks again for your time, and if you made it to this point, you're a real rock star. God bless you all the best of wishes to you, and as always, this is JesterArtsDJ of Do Brothers Entertainment, signing out.